All right, well, take two at this. Craig, thank you for calling my phone during this interview. But I appreciate you coming. It's funny, I love doing these interviews because you see someone when they just started their baseball career. You know, I had a lot of guys on who had just come here after getting drafted and seeing their progression over time the last 4 years is cool to see and, you know, get to know them over time. So appreciate it again.
Yeah,
also, that was a way better intro this time, so happy about that. Kind of take me through what it was like getting drafted. I mean, it must have been pretty, you know, crazy. You got here Thursday, and when did you get drafted? Like, what, week and a half?
I got drafted on that Monday.
That Monday.
Yeah, it was like the 13th or 14th, I think. But yeah, so got drafted Monday. Spent a lot of time with my family. Did golfing, escape rooms, pretty much anything to do to really spend time with my family. Because when I get back during the off season, my younger brother, he plays volleyball, so he's off at college playing that, and my two siblings are going to be, my older siblings are moving out, they're teaching, so not a whole lot of family time there. So tried to do as much as we could before I left, and came here that Thursday and got here Thursday, moved into the hotel, got everything situated. And then like that Friday we started right away with physicals, doing range of motion, pretty much every test they could really do just to kind of see where you're at and see what they need to work on and make sure pretty much that we're healthy.
Yeah. So take me through like the last like what was like this week look like? Because I remember we were talking about this earlier when you're like you had your meetings with coach and different things. So kind of take me through that.
Yeah. So this week I guess last week Saturday we kind of did more blood work and kind of see what we're deficient in, and so they can get us all the right vitamins and everything to make sure that like we're pretty much at peak health to really kind of help us out, and did couple MRIs and x-rays too, just to make sure we're all healthy to begin with and everything's good on everyone, so that's really good to hear. But yeah, so Monday we pretty much started because Sundays were an off day here, so that's kind of nice to have that one day break. But got here Monday and they made a prep program for everyone to kind of get like your activation in, which I thought was really special because each person has their own individualized thing. Like I think there's like a couple of us share a couple exercises, but for the most part everyone has their own thing, which I think that's really cool because everybody's different, and I just think that's really special. Yeah. But then after that we kind of do another like warm-up routine outside in the sun, and that kind of gets me sometimes because being from Wisconsin, that kind of
still figuring out the heat
still
down
figuring
here.
out to the heat and the humidity, so that's a little rough. But then we go into our throwing, and they kind of have throwing programs mapped out for everyone because everyone's at a different point in their like season, because a lot of guys like stopped throwing once the season ended last year or a couple months ago and didn't pick up a baseball yet, just enjoying their time off and recovering. And then there's a couple guys who had to play summer ball, so everyone's kind of just all over the place. But yeah, so if you had catch play, like they map it out, so they're like 70% at like 90 feet, or they kind of space it out like that, or whatever your days consist of. They kind of tell you what to do and you kind of go do it. And then once we're done throwing, we do a little bit of conditioning, which every day it's a little different. Today we had like kind of like build-up sprints into a jog, which like they aren't bad, but the heat kind of makes it a lot worse, and different sprints and kind of cuts every day, just kind of, you know, staying athletic, especially as pitchers.
Yeah.
Then after that, we kind of, most of the day we go lift right away, and we had our first lift yesterday, and I'm really sore from that yet. Yeah. Like, I've never lifted like that before, like some of that.
That's what a lot of guys say when they come down here. It's a lot different. Like,
it's very different, and I just wasn't ready for it. And I'm really sore from it yet today, but we got an off day of lifting today, so that really kind of helps with the recovery process. But then post-lift, we pretty much have food at the locker room, so we go eat, and then everyone showers up, and we kind of wait for the bus to come pick us up and take us back to the hotel. And
yeah, because that's also another thing people don't realize. Like, you don't have time to get your car and come down. You're just here.
Yeah, they gave us an option to, like, they're going to help us get our cars down here if we want, but it's, like, tricky because I might be here for 3 months. I might be here for a week. So.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask, because it depends on, like, age of some guys starting rookie ball, some guys they start in single A, some guys go at high A. Yeah. So they haven't really given you.
No, we haven't given me a kind of schedule or timeline yet. I'm pretty sure we have a lot of those meetings next week, they said. I had a meeting this week, but it's just more of like kind of see where I'm at in my throwing program, or where I'm like headed and when I'm
Yeah.
going to start or when I'm going to be ready to throw lives and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a wait and see type of thing.
Yeah, because what's like their normal timeline? Like a couple weeks from being here, you go out to wherever.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, I have no clue on that one. I would assume if you've been throwing, I would assume they'd kind of send you off to low A just to kind of watch you play and kind of see how you go about like in-game stuff, which I don't know. I'm excited for if that's the case, but I guess we'll see.
I guess so. I guess we'll go back to like where it all started. So, how did you get into baseball, and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So growing up, like I pretty much did all the sports you could really think of. Like all throughout elementary and middle school, I did football, basketball, wrestling, track, soccer, and baseball. I did all those sports, and I was always kind of, I'd say above average because I went to a small city, small school. So like I always kind of, I'd say stood out a little bit, but got into high school and then I dropped a few of the sports. I just did football, basketball, and then baseball. And like I said, like growing up, like all throughout high school, I was always like above average for my grade. I didn't start anything on my freshman year, sophomore year, but I was always like kind of pulled up to varsity here and there, but yeah, I didn't play a whole lot varsity, but then I always played JV and stuff. And then my junior year, I kind of grew a little bit, started putting on a little bit of muscle and played more. And
that's when you say like when you say like the college. When did you like I could potentially play like college baseball?
Yeah, so my junior year, I played travel ball. I think I played travel ball once when I was like 12, but there was just a lot going on that year, a lot of drama, so my parents kind of stayed away from that year, but kind of decided that I wanted to play in college. So my parents like, well, if you want to play in college, like we're gonna have to play travel ball. So I played travel ball my junior summer, and I played for Caviani baseball training. That's one thing that I think kind of helped me was just pitching on a summer ball team, because in high school ball, like coaches come out and scout here and there, but most of the time that happens if they like know you or have seen Twitter posts about you and like they want to recruit you. But summer ball was really special, and that really helped me kind of get to where I'm at now, is because there's coaches everywhere watching from the worst teams to the best teams. Like they're out there just watching, see what kids can do, and that's one thing that really helped me. Is one game I was pitching and like the Brian Stratton coach, like he was watching me and he just saw something in me. He saw that I had a great mindset, because there's a couple like bloop hits and an error or two, and he just was really like, he really liked me because like I just kept my head on straight, didn't get all like flustered about it, and just kept going to work in the zone. Yeah,
and and COVID really didn't like impact your recruiting process, or kind of take me with the recruiting process was like.
Not really. I think COVID happened I think it was my sophomore year. So like being from Wisconsin, like we had a few regulations to start, like you weren't really supposed to go out in public and everything, but by the time that junior summer came along, like
things were pretty open.
Yeah, things were pretty open again, so that didn't really impact me a whole lot. I remember they were talking like here and there that there might be a few like COVID redshirt guys that might be at the college or at Bryan and Stratton still, but by the time I got there was none of those guys, so I had an open shot to be a starter.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people, and they go to college, and there's the six, and these guys, they're transferring all over the place because they don't have opportunities, or I mean, even the portal's kind of you use it for strategic purposes. A lot of guys, I feel like they don't stay at a school long enough to like see what they could have actually done at that school.
Yeah, that's one thing that if I had to go from high school straight to like a 4-year school, there was no way I was touching the field. Like out of high school, I think my senior year I was up to 86, 87, and like I didn't do a throwing routine, pre-throw, post-throw, anything like that. But then I got to Bryan and Stratton, and they gave me a whole program to follow: pre-throw, post-throw, recovery, and everything in a lifting program. And that's kind of where things really took off for me, because by the end of freshman year, I was up to 92, and if I didn't go there, I don't think that really ever would have happened for me, and I would have known that I could actually play baseball at a pro level.
Progress at that level. And that must have been like, because you actually see, like a lot of people, they want to see the results. You actually saw the results like in the speed, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was really special. Like I remember, because my first game in the fall there, like I probably had like 2 or 3 months of actually doing all like the pre-throw, post-throw stuff. And there's a game I was up to 89, and my high school coach always said that he always knew that I was going to be really great at baseball, and he said that once I threw 90, like, he wants that ball. So I remember the winter before I went home, like, we did a whole throwing program, and I was like, hey, coach, can you, like, radar a few pitches? Like, I just want to see if I can hit 90. And, like, I hit 90, like, 3 times in a row, and I was like, kind of like, this is awesome. This is great. And just as time went on, like, lifting more, like, I think just about each year of college I put on 15 to 20 pounds of pretty much muscle, and, like, I think that's something that really helped me. And, like, growing up in high school, like, I never really lifted, but like I said, like, when I got to college, like, I lifted all the time and put in all the work.
Yeah, then once you mentioned the one guy tweeted, and then when you hit 95, and that's why you thought. So kind of talk about like that next when you realized you could transfer to a bigger school, like kind of what that process was like for you.
Yeah, so I'd say kind of like the mindset of being able to go pro or like do bigger things was my freshman summer, because I played for the Wausau Woodchucks in the Northwoods League, and like just meeting some of the guys like here in the schools that they're from, like I was like when I first got there, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna do terrible. Like all these guys are so good. And then like I got out there and I pitched, and like I remember like the first time I pitched there, like I was just numb. Like I couldn't feel anything. Like I pitched, I think it was like 3 or 4 innings, but like the first 2 innings of it, like it was almost like I blacked out. Like I didn't even realize what I was doing. But yeah, like that was really special. Like pitching against some of those guys and meeting a lot of those guys, like really kind of like flipped a switch for me and was like.
And that's when you like realized like professional baseball, because that was like the first time where you didn't have like the doubleheaders. You had to play a game at 7 and everything.
That's because that league you're pretty much playing every day.
I'm just checking just to the paranoia, dude. I just got the Yeah, we're good. We're good this episode. We're good. That was the first time that ever had happened. I just had to make sure.
All good. But like I was saying, like that was kind of like the first step that I didn't even really think that I could play pro ball then. I knew that I could play like kind of like D1 or like a really good D2 ball at that time, because like the guys that we were facing like towards the start was all like college guys that are D1 schools, or I was just kind of like, wow, like I could do this. But then
and being with a guy who got drafted.
I was gonna get to that. Yeah, one thing that really kind of opened up my eyes even more was one of the pitchers on my team got drafted that year in like the 6th round, and I was kind of like, wow, like I could actually do this. So I was like, that kind of really helped me like buy in, I guess, and went back to school my sophomore year at Bryan-Shetton College and had a few offers in the fall from like smaller D1 schools, Milwaukee or UW-Milwaukee, Omaha, Nebraska, Central Michigan. And they're all great schools, great offers, but I kind of like, I always almost knew that they're like, I could do better, go somewhere a little bit bigger. So I held out on that, and then got to end season my sophomore year, and 2 or 3 weeks into the season, Tad Slowick, a big Twitter JUCO guy, made a post about me that I was up to 95, and a lot of like bigger teams saw that, and Kansas was one of them, and they came out and watched me on like a week later or something, and the recruiting coordinator there, John Coyne, really liked what he saw, and like the rest is history. Like he made me an offer, and I loved it and loved everything about the school, and I ended up going there.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty easy decision. Take a visit and then.
Yeah, that was one thing that I really appreciated, because I didn't really have to deal with the whole like, this school's offering me this school's offering me this. My education here is so much better. Yeah. Like I went to Kansas, I toured it, and I loved everything about it.
Yeah. So after that, let's talk about the draft a little bit, because it's one of the quicker drafts in all. Yeah. It's you finish the season and it feels like, oh, the College Baseball World Series on, and the draft's like, it just feels like it's so close. So kind of what was the process like? Do you work out, or what was your mindset going in? Do you know you were going to play pro baseball, or what? Yeah.
So once the regular season was over, like the workouts or like tryouts or whatever they're really called, kind of started with the pro teams. But I talked to my agent, like me and him both kind of agreed that I threw plenty this year. Like I think I had 33 appearances and like 48 or something like that innings, and like we both kind of agreed that there's enough data out there, especially like coming from the Big 12, like everything's on TV for the most part. There's TrackMan data from every game, so they could kind of go out and look up all that data. They didn't really need to see me in person, just because me and my agent kind of agreed that rest was better for me. It would have been cool to go to one though, just to kind of see what it's like. But I mean, after that, like I got a few phone calls like 2-3 weeks after the season, just kind of, hey, like, you plan on going back to school, plan on going to the draft, and like all of them were just, yeah, I plan on going to the draft, and then they just kind of ask if I'm healthy or if anything's hurt or anything, and it's, yeah, I'm healthy, I'm good to go, I'm excited like for the draft and see where I end up. And then I want to say like 4 weeks before the draft, things kind of like stopped for like a week or two, just because a lot of the teams like met up and just kind of see, like they'd put together their draft boards and see who they all needed or wanted. And then a week or two before the draft, like things picked up again. I got a whole lot of those same phone calls just asking if I'm healthy, if I'm going to the draft or going to school, and just conversations.
Do you hear
like
from
that.
coaches like during the season? Do they, like, if you have a good start, does anyone? I mean, a good like relief appearance to someone like. Hey.
Yeah, so that was a big thing that I think really helped me with like kind of keeping my head on straight, was having a, at the time, advisor, because teams would, most of the times, like they could look up my name and my advisor would be right there, but they
Because they can send stuff on like other.
yeah,
right?
they can send stuff, like they can text you and everything, but forget it. Yeah, so like they'll text me sometimes, they'll be like, hey, like, do you have an advisor? Like that's how they'll like pretty much start, and I'll just say like, yeah, Ty Smith, here's his number, and then they just be in contact with him. And like I think me and Ty called, I think 2 or 3 times throughout the season. He was kind of just telling me like all the teams that are interested in me and everything, and he pretty much just let me focus on baseball, which I think was really special, because I couldn't really, going back thinking about it, I couldn't really like mentally process like, all right, this guy, and this guy are here to watch me today.
Yeah.
Like I have to do outstanding, otherwise they're gonna forget about me. Like I think that was really special how he did it, because I could just focus on playing baseball.
Yeah, I guess I did interrupt. So getting back to like the baseball, like the draft now. So what was like kind of hearing your name call and like that like that week? It probably was you're probably excited, but like also like stressed, because you're like
it was pretty stressful. Like especially the day of, because I had a draft party with a whole bunch of friends and family and everything. And every time like I'd get a text message from either my advisor or a team, like I'd take my dad to like one of the rooms and kind of like talk to him about it and kind of see like what we're thinking and everything. And it was kind of getting stressful, like 7th, 8th, 9th, like I'd get a few like dings here and there, but like every time I came out of the room, like everyone's like shh, and would look over, and I'm just like, oh guys, like sorry, like haven't come to an agree or a deal yet, and just kind of go back to like just talking with everyone and seeing everyone, because it was nice seeing everyone again too.
But everybody's also probably got that like they're all everybody's on like their toes a little bit.
Yeah, but then during that like 5-minute break or whatever it was after the 15th round, like I had a few phone calls and like talked to the Cardinals, and we worked something out, and like it was almost like a weight was lifted off. Like I was like, ooh, like all the stress was kind of gone. Like I hugged my parents and I teared up a little bit, just because it was like, it was just really special. And then like went out in like the main room by everyone else, and everyone has like their phones out recording and everything, and then turned up the volumes on the TV, and then my name was announced, and it was just like, it's just a surreal moment. Like it was so loud, everyone's screaming, and it was just awesome.
So are they allowed? Because when you told me the stat of 20 out of 20, because everyone's talking about like the Bengals, they're not, Shamar hasn't gotten signed, but like in baseball, it's normal for guys to like not sign. And so do they text like, hey, like this is what we're gonna offer? Like, would you do this? Like just trying to get people's like ideas.
So teams will do that, and like that was a big thing that me and my agent had to kind of set up going into the draft, was like what my number was going to be to go to the draft or go to school. And like I think that's one thing that's really different about baseball compared to all the other sports, is like all the other sports you get signed for, it can be for $1, and it's either you take it, otherwise you don't play anymore. Versus baseball, they could offer you $5 million, and you could say, no, I'm going back to school, and they just kind of have to accept it.
Yeah, because they give you that slot amount, and like if they only have so much, like you can't really do it. That's the one thing I do think is really cool, like especially about baseball. All right, I want to kind of get a little bit, we talked about your mindset a little bit, because what do you think like makes a guy like an MLB player versus you? I mean, you've been through some of the levels, now you're just starting here. Like what does that take?
I'd say a big thing is definitely mindset. Like, especially like for me, like I was able to see it just about at every level so far, except for the pro level. But hopefully I get to see that sometime soon. But like, just the mindset that some people have. Like if something goes wrong, like people kind of drop their head and be like, oh crap, like here
Yeah.
we go again. But I think that's one thing that really helped me was just kind of like something bad happens, like I give up a home run, or shortstop makes a terrible play, like I just kind of, reset and like forget about it and kind of just go back to work and just trying to get 3 outs without letting anyone score.
Yeah, and that's how you try to like compound, like not like mistakes, but when you're like down in counts, you try to have that mindset to like where you like it's okay if I walk this guy, but I don't want to give like a 3-run home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that was a big thing for me this year, like especially coming in as a closer, like high leverage situation. Like I never did that before this year.
Yeah.
So like I'd start out a guy like 2-0 and I'm like, oof. It's like what I always did, like I just took my hat off for a second, I just like put it back on, got situated, like did this with my shoulders, just kind of relaxed and just reset and got back in the zone.
I mean, it's probably a funny thing, but do you think, but like, it's really hard to hit a baseball. Like it's really like, so it's like that guy. I don't know. That's why I always like. It's always really funny to think that like the average person thinks they can hit a baseball. To me,
yeah. I'll definitely tell, like, if a position player asks me, I'm telling them I can hit a baseball. Like, it's so easy. But if I had to go in there against a guy throwing mid to upper 90s with just nasty off speed like that, I'll maybe foul a ball off or two, but I don't think I'd be able to get it.
If you go 300, that's a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, baseball is just such a weird sport, and like that's where like being mentally tough really comes in, because like especially as a hitter, like if you hit the ball and then get a hit 3 out of 10 times, like you're an elite baseball player. And like that's just something that I think people just struggle to understand sometimes.
What do you think like right now is the biggest thing that you need to work on to like go up through the system? And how do you kind of do that take it day by day, because you're literally just starting out?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I'd have to work on is just like more conviction and just more, I guess, hitting spots better with my off speed. I think that's kind of something that I think I need to work on a little bit for sure. And then I think, like, I don't know, I've always had like the day by day mentality growing up, like today I got this, and this, and like just do everything better than what I did yesterday. And like that's just kind of how I've gone about life so far.
All right, last 3 questions. I don't want to take your time because we did do one before. But you've played all these sports growing up, you had mentioned. Do you think that kind of helped you with baseball?
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. Like, especially like now, like people are just kind of like surprised on like how well I move, like especially for being like my size. Like I wasn't always this big, but like growing up, like I did everything you could really think of, and like I think that's something that really helped me, and especially my younger brother, because he plays volleyball at Quincy in Illinois. And like when I go home, like I always practice with him. Like we do like some just beach volleyball here and there just to like work on it. Like it's always fun. Like because my whole family's pretty athletic for the most part, so stuff like that's always fun. And
well, I mean, it also probably helps because a lot of kids, they play a sport I think too early, you know, and then they get burned out or they get injured, especially in baseball. I feel like kids are getting Tommy Johns and other things way earlier. And I mean, can you kind of talk about like, you didn't play travel baseball till like later, right?
I think I played travel ball once when I was 12, and then once when I was 16.
Do you think that kind of helped you a little bit? Like,
yeah, in a way, because I remember my sophomore year of junior college. Like, there was one like director, and like he talked to me, and like he was like really like for me. Like he was really happy for like how I've gone about everything, because like he said. One thing that really stood out that he said was like, my arm is like truly, because I'm 21, he's like, my arm is truly 21 years old. Yeah. And he's like, some of these guys from like down south, like Texas, Florida, who throw year round, like their arms are like 30, 35 years old, just because like they're using them year round.
They weren't pitches too early and different things like that.
Everything just overuse at such a young age. And that was something that he really liked about me, because I didn't take baseball serious for the most part until my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's like your best piece? We're talking about we have a lot of middle school, high school athletes watch. What's your best piece for an athlete trying to go play college, you know?
I'd say focus on yourself. Like, don't really worry about like what others are doing. Like, I struggled with this definitely in high school quite a bit, because my older brother, his class was really athletic, like super athletes and everything. And I was always like, I'm going to be better than these guys. Like, I have to do everything they're doing. And that wasn't always the case, because like you see them doing some things, you're like, oh, like I can do that too. And then you try and you're like, this isn't for me. Like, I'm never going to be able to do this. And you just kind of have to find your own ways to like do things to work on yourself, to like get better yourself and not really focus on everyone else's success and what they have.
The U10 who's number 1 in the country doesn't matter because he probably is not going to be number 1 in the country at 18. So. And the last question, I love asking this one, especially because you just started your pro career. When your career's over, down the line, how do you want to be remembered?
Yeah, I know you asked me this question earlier too, and I had some more time to think about it. But I'm just gonna have to go with like a really hard worker and just like a really good team guy. Like, I think that's something that really made baseball special for me was like just the team aspect and like getting along with a lot of the guys. Like, I think junior college is still like my favorite time playing. Like, I guess being part of a team because we all lived at apartments and like half the team or most of the team was at the same apartment complex, and our room, it was because we shared a room, so it was me, one teammate, and then the other room was like 2 other of my teammates, and we had 2 couches and a huge futon, and our room was always had like 10 or 12 people in it, just hanging out, playing the Wii, and just
that's the best thing about college.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I loved it.
Those are the days when you just get open house, all the guys come in, you just any game on, whatever, just shooting the shit,
Yeah.
But again, I appreciate you doing the second take of this with me. I hope to keep in touch with you, dude, over time as you're here, and thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.